The first and only time I almost went to jail was my freshman year of college, 2017. So you guys understand the mindset and where I'm coming from. Quick background information. So as a freshman, right, graduating high school, coming into college and all that good stuff, you come with the energy that, I'm 18, I'm 19, I'm grown and all of that. I can get a car, it's the time that a lot of, youngins want to buy cars, want to, have their license and all that good stuff. Now, in my case, I had already learned how to drive 2 years ago. I think my junior year of high school. Now, see, the thing was, I got my permit beginning of 2017, just before I went to college. I think before prom and before graduation, I had my permit. Now, my road test was scheduled for I think 2 months went before all of this happened. Now, my mom will never let me drive a car because I don't have a license, and she's the kind of person that wants to stick with rules. That's the kind of person she is. Now, this one beautiful day, she actually wasn't feeling too good. She was sick. So she stayed out. I don't think she went to work that day. I think it was a public holiday. It was a Monday. Yeah, it was a Monday. I think it was a public holiday, and she stayed home that day. And I had to go to school to study, but I also had to do some stuff as well, like go to the mall. So, mommy, I apologize. But that day, I had asked her for the car, and this woman was like, "Yeah, sure," gave me the keys, and I'm like, "Huh? You said what now?" I've actually driven a car multiple times prior, but every time I had asked for the car, she would always have that hesitation, was like, "You're not supposed to be driving without your license." But that beautiful day, or in this case, very ugly day, she just gave me the keys without even asking questions, without even, causing a ruckus or whatever. She just gave the keys. And usually whenever I get in the car and I'm ready to drive, I just, I'd say a prayer. Always pray, the blood of Jesus and all that good stuff before I leave. Now, that day, I didn't pray. That day, I did not pray, y'all. I got in the car. I think it was just probably the excitement of getting the keys that day or something. But I did not pray. Your boy did not pray. I just, took off. Now, I think I was heading to the mall first and then going to school to study, because I think I had finals coming up. So I think I had finals like a month before that. I got on the road, right? So now I'm on this road. I think, guys, it's Washington Street, guys. I was on Washington Street. For those of my Bostonians, I was on Washington Street. I was taking a right onto what's it called, Stony Brook Commons. At the time, Stony Brook Commons is it's close to Dedham. I was coming directly from Dedham. Now, I think I already went to the mall, y'all. I went to the mall, and now I think I was going to go pick up somebody or so. So I came from Washington Street from Dedham Mall, and then I was taking a right onto Stony Brook Commons. Now, it was like a T-junction. I looked, to the left, I looked to the right. There was no cars coming. I was absolutely good. Now, I'm taking this right. Usually whenever I look, and I'm taking a turn, I still, it's just a habit where I still have to look again just to make sure everything is perfectly fine. Now, I turned my neck and, looked again. The second time now, I'm already taking this turn while I'm looking, which is the second look. Now, this lady comes from nowhere on a 30-mile-per-hour road where this woman was going about 40, 45, or 50. I think about 50. Well, let's make it look a bit bad. So I think she was going 80. Yeah, she was going 80. And I'm taking a right onto that road. This woman just comes in and brushes the side of the car. Like the side, like my side, the driver's seat, just a little bit ahead, close to the bonnet. Now she hits the car, and there's like a little ditch next to the turn I was making, and the front of the car just went in there. Both tires went in there. Now the first tire popped from nowhere, just like the car was not gonna be moving after that. Now the lady just goes in front of me, right after hitting me, goes in front of me, just parks and stays in the car. Usually when people get in an accident, you come out the car, you're like, you want the first thing you want to see is the damage on your vehicle, and then the damage on the next person's vehicle, and then you go have conversations. Now I come out the car immediately. I'm looking at the car. I'm like, my mom's not feeling good. Now I wrecked her car. What a beautiful day to have. Now I walk over to the lady in front of the lady that hit me. She was just sitting in the car. This woman did not get out the car, just sits in there. Now I go up to the window and I see her on the phone. I'm like, hello, we just had an accident. Like, come out the car, let's talk. Now she winds down and, obviously trying to be polite and everything. The first thing I'm asking is, are you okay? Is everything good? Any bruises? Are you fine? She's like, oh no, I'm okay. I'm good. It's all perfect. And as we're finishing that conversation, I am hearing Stadies pull up. I'm hearing police trucks, rolling in. I'm hearing arrest trucks pulling in, like the trucks, like the trailers. Ezra, what a beautiful day you're having. What a coincidence. I'm over here thinking like something else happened around us, only to find out that these people just parked the cars and they're there for us. I'm like, what's going on? I'm looking around and I look puzzled, and she turns to me and was like,
oh, this is not my car, this is my husband's car. So yeah, I just called him. I'm on the phone with him right now.
I'm looking at the lady. I'm like, I was just in so much disbelief. I felt betrayed, even though I don't know this lady. But the moment she dropped the phone, the Stady came over and was like, hey, can you go to your car and wait for me? So I go in there. He speaks to her, and then he comes over to me. He's like, hey, are you okay? How's everything? I was like, oh, I'm perfectly fine. And he was like, yeah, if you exchange information. I was like, oh no, I'm still yet to. And then after he said all of that, I'm over here thinking everything's gonna be good. He's about to just walk away. I'm just gonna act like I got the situation under control. I'm just gonna take her insurance and everything, and we smooth. And the next thing you know, he asked me the question that I was hoping he does not ask. Where's the papers and where's your license? I started sweating. I felt like taking a dump. I felt like peeing on myself. I felt hungry. A lot of stuff was happening at the same time. So I turned to the car, pull out the papers, and I give it to him. Now I reach in my wallet and I pull out the permit, and I'm like, yeah, here's my permit. And he's like, okay, yeah, no, I need your license. I was like, I start thinking, in 2 seconds I had like a million thoughts. Ezra, just tell him that you left your license at home. Ezra, I don't think that's the best course of action, because he can easily just go on the car and run your information and find out that you do not have a license. That's more problem for you. Now I turn to him and I'm like, so I have my road test in 2 months. It's already scheduled and everything, but that's my permit. So he's like, so you don't have a license, so you're driving without a license. My heart just keeps cutting as he says that. He was like, come out the car, go to the curb and wait for me. And now he gets very fierce and he's like upset. And I get out the car. I'm sweating now. It just felt like I just ran like 3 miles, y'all. So I go to the curb. I'm standing right there. He goes over to the lady. He speaks to her and has this conversation and comes back to me. And as he comes back to me, he has more conversations. He's talking, and I'm over here trying to explain. Alani told y'all this. I would always defend myself, always debate, always argue, always try to explain. So I got in this mode of explanation. I'm trying to explain, why I did what I did. I'm going to school. He was not hearing none of that, y'all. He wasn't trying to have a conversation. He was just trying to let me know you messed up and you're in for it. Like, that's the look I just kept getting. So he was like, wait for me, and then went into his car, writes something. I think he was looking at my information and everything, comes back out, gives me a paper, and he's like, yeah, you gave me the citation. He gave me a citation, and he was like, yeah, you have a court date. He kept saying some other stuff that I wasn't even paying attention to. I just got in this space of, he said court date. Court date. All that kept going on in my head is court date, court date. So he's saying a bunch of other things like date, time. I'm not even paying attention. And then when he was done talking, I was like, sorry, I can you rephrase what you said? Where do I have to be? What time? And I just keep asking the same questions he just said. He was like, I just said. And then the moment he repeats it again, I didn't pay attention because I know all those information, like he said, was on the paper. I was just nervous. And then when he was done, I was like, "Sir, I apologize. I'm sorry. I really didn't mean to do anything. I'm just trying to get to school." He wasn't having none of that. He was like, "You're not supposed to be driving without a license." He's just like, he was making me look stupid, and I'm just over here saying, "I'm sorry. I apologize." And the only thing that's going through my head at this time, y'all, is my mom's sick. She's at home. This is the one time she gave me the keys without, have causing a ruckus or an argument. None of that. So this is like a huge trust that I just messed up. Like, this is big time for me. I'm like, Ezra, you messed up big time. You probably gonna be on the next flight back to Nigeria. The next thing that happens is I see the car getting towed out. Because obviously I just had an accident, regards to the accident, I think the main thing was I was driving without a license and the car is not mine. So they took the car away. And he was like, yeah, first things first, go talk to your mom. You and your mom has to go to the tow company and go pick up the car. So I go home. Now, y'all, it took me 30 minutes to get in the house to begin with. I'm thinking of how to say this to my mom, how to figure out the situation at the time. And I come home, y'all. I'm telling my mom, and my mom's just calm. I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, okay, so are we gonna skip the part where I get smacked, where I get beat, where I get yelled at? What's going on here? Like, this is new. Somebody help me. So the next thing that happened is I'm seeing my mom, just saying, okay, how are we gonna get to the place? So I call us an Uber. We go over there to the tow truck, the tow company. We pick up the car and now we take it to the shop. Well, my mom's mechanic came over, took the car and all that good stuff. Now, court date happens, right? By the way, I didn't stop hearing about this situation till, court date. That part stayed true, but the beating part, I don't know what happened, but she skipped that part of the menu. So we got to the court. Now, the statey was sitting on the other side. Me and my mom was sitting on this side. And the magistrate was in front. He came in and, asked the statey to, read his case and everything. He cited the case and all over again so my mom could hear and everything. And then the first question that the magistrate said was he respectful? Was he obedient? And the statey said, oh yeah, absolutely. He was very, very respectful, very obedient. None of that. He just followed everything I said. He's a great young man. That's what he kept saying. And before the magistrate could say anything else, he said, I'm not here to make life hard for him or make it more difficult or press charges or whatever. I just want his mom to understand that he cannot drive without a license. That's it. I just want his mom to know this because I'm pretty sure his mom gave him permission to drive the car or not. I want his mom to be in the loop as to the fact that the rule says you cannot drive without a license by yourself. And the moment he says that, I look at him, I'm like, my guy, God bless you. And the moment he says that, my mom is just like, whew, thank you, Jesus. God, I bless you. God, thank you very much. And as she's saying these things, the magistrate asked me a question, or I think the clerk or whatever he's called. He asked me a question. He's like, where were you going? And I was like, I was going to school. At the time I needed to study for exams and all of that. And he said, school at that time? Well, school's not open at that time. And I'm like, and I picked up on the fact that he's talking about high school. I was like, oh no, it's not high school. It's college. I was just going to school to study because I have finals coming up. And he says, you're in college? At that age, I was a bit young. And he was like, you're in college? Really? Really? And he says, for you to be in college at this age, it looks like, your head is screwed on straight, and all that good stuff. And he was like, the fact that you are respectful, it tells that you were brought up well. And he turned to my mom and was like, it tells that you raised him well. And he said, or like the man said, we're not trying to make life hard for you. He said he just wants your mom to know that you cannot drive without a license. And he says you're free to go, man. Just make sure you don't do that again. Make sure you don't drive until you're your road test. And he said, when's your road test again? I was like, oh, it's already scheduled. It's next month. He was like, okay, yeah, make sure you don't drive till then. You know, by then you should be good. You know, no rush and all of that. And he says, hey, these things happen. You know, because at the end of the day, I wasn't wrong. Like I explained to you guys, I wasn't wrong because I already made the merge onto the street, so I already kind of had the right of the way. So at the end of the day, the lady was speeding and all that good stuff, but the whole reason why this whole thing was escalated on my part was because I was driving without a license. So he was saying that, honestly, yeah, I understand you're probably a good driver, but know that, you know, no matter how long you've been on the road, you know, you will always still be learning how to drive, the different things you pick up here and there. But the moral of the story is, we're not trying to make life hard for you. We just want you to know that you cannot drive without a license. And he was like, yeah, all this is going to be taken out your record. You're going to be fine. Just, you know, make sure you don't drive before, you know, your road test, and you're good, man. Go back to school and be great. And I'm like, dog, for reals? And the day this thing happened, I'm on the phone with my boys. I'm like, yo, this thing happened to me, I think I'm going to jail. And all of them, because we're all ignorant to the whole situation. Like, we've never been in this is my first rodeo. We've never been here before. None of us has ever been in this kind of situation. So everybody's like, damn, dog, it was nice knowing you, dog. But some of them were like, bro, you be fine. I'm pretty sure they're not gonna force it. You're probably just not gonna be able to drive for, like, you know, a couple of years. And I was really thinking I was not gonna be able to drive till I was 25 type stuff. But the moral of the story, guys, is that you should always try your best to be respectful and be professional at all times, because I might come up with an attitude talking about, or just I might not even, because there's no reason for me to have an attitude, I'm not stupid, but I might just come out the car, you know, and he's asking me questions and I'm just quiet, just being numb, just answering the questions and just being ignorant, you know. But the extra step I took to respect him for the fact that he's older, he's in a place of authority, because his job is to enforce the law, and I clearly did something wrong, you know. And those little yes sir, I apologize, I'm sorry, and all that good stuff, you know, went a long way for me, you know. Because think about it, if I was sitting there making his life hard, or being obnoxious, or being ridiculous, or whatever, I'll go to court and he'll probably be like, yeah, I want him to take a fine, or whatever the case might be for people in my situation at the time. They'll probably force it on me, you know. But I was respectful, and I handled the situation like a mature person, and, you know, God stepped in. If y'all liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. For those of you guys that just be watching, I love it. Thank you. The views are going up. I appreciate it. But don't forget to comment and subscribe. That's much more than anything else, guys. As a creator, we want to see that you guys are actually taking the time to comment, answer some of the questions that we're asking you guys in our description box, some of the questions we're asking you guys in the video. You know, it's encouraging. That's, to us, is like, okay, they're watching the videos, they care, they're engaging. But I'm not saying that you have to, you know. It'll be nice for you guys too. But please, 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 the subscription part is a must. Please subscribe. Okay? Watch the videos. I know you're watching, you're enjoying. Beautiful. Sorry. Subscribe. Okay? Thank you. I'll see you in the next video. Chairman out.